Hi, I'm Tim Kennelty.
And I'm Jean Thomas.
And welcome to Nature Calls, Conversations from the Hudson Valley.
Our guest today is Rosemary Mix. Rosemary is the president of Wild Ones Capital District. We're so happy to have you today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Rosemary, we like to start by asking a little bit about our guest's background and how you got involved with the organization, and describe what Wild Ones exactly is for us.
Well, years ago, my husband and I had a community-supported agriculture program. And when we were no longer using our land for agriculture, we thought we would rewild it and let our fields go for ground nesting birds and animals. And we have like a little wet area that we let go. Years later after that, I was sitting with a friend and talking about having a sense of hopelessness for the future of the earth. And she said, there is hope. And she described the concept of homegrown national parks, which is Douglas Tallamy's. And I read his book, Nature's Best Hope, and realized that we could be doing so much more than just our little private project in Schoharie, New York. And around the same time as that, the Cooperative Extension in Albany County had read Douglas Tallamy's book, and they wanted to start an organization and really bring those principles and practices to light. And they approached me, and a chapter was born, and that was in May of 2021. And since that time, we've just been growing, attracting all sorts of really interesting, like-minded individuals and organizations. We all share the common thread of native plants.
And Wild Ones, the National Wild Ones group, you're basically focusing on native plants and
That's
ecosystems,
their mission.
Correct?
Native plants and natural landscapes thriving in every community.
Where did they start and when?
In Wisconsin, I believe, in around 1977, there was a small group of people that attended a native landscaping conference. I'm afraid to say the name. I'm afraid I might have my facts wrong, but I believe it was Lori Ottoman.
Okay.
And they decided to start a wild garden in 1977. And since then, it has grown into this very large national organization. They have 37 chapters in 36 states, 19,000 members across the country.
There's quite a few chapters in New York State, correct?
We're one of the fastest growing states right now for Wild Ones.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Was there a flow of membership? Like in the 70s, it must have been like fairly slow, but now all of a sudden, we were just talking to Christopher.
From Prism.
From Prism, thank you. He was talking about people like discovering ecology. And there are waves of it. And is that what happened as far as the growth of Wild Ones?
Yeah, it started early in the pandemic. The interest just grew. They're growing like crazy right now. They're actually doing a really good job keeping up with it, but they've really had to work at keeping up with their growth.
There's always a bright side to the pandemic in that these organizations kind of really grew, right? Mm-hmm. There was a huge interest in gardening, I know, itself.
Yeah. And in native plants.
And since you've established your chapter in 2021, you said, so what have you been doing? What projects have you been working on?
We have like a calendar of events. So we have developed a couple of signature projects or programs, and one of them is annual native plant sale that we do in conjunction with Thatcher Park and the Friends of Thatcher.
We love plant sales, but I assume there's things you
what
do
else
in the
do you
summer
do
and fall,
during the seasons?
Well, we have the plant sale with them, and then we also do a seed swap every November, which is gaining in popularity, and that's been really good, where people come in. You don't have to bring seeds. You can just come and take them if you want, but they come and go. And then we have educational programs in the wintertime via Zoom, one in January and one in February.
And you've got a good website.
We have a wonderful website.
Yeah, so that's terrific. So people can look on the website to find out what's current.
And I assume if you want to join, you would look at the website as well.
If you wanted to join, you would look at the national website, wildones.org. Put in your zip code, and they'll guide you to the closest local chapter.
Oh, so they do keep a good overview of the whole country then.
Oh, my gosh,
so
it's such a wonderful organization.
Wow.
And then they give us all of our structure that we need for a not-for-profit, so we don't have to worry about any of that.
Boring stuff.
We can just go on with our work, and if we have questions or concerns, we put in a support ticket, and they get back to us within a couple of days.
Some bylaws and things like that, and how to form a committee.
They give us bylaws, but
cool.
as a local organization, we're at liberty to change them.
Right.
But but they do give us a structure for those too.
So how much have you changed?
Not very much. That's not an area that I'm particularly interested in, and it looks pretty satisfactory. We haven't run into any problems at all with it.
Oh, that's great.
And
Yeah.
what if I'm in a part of the country or a part of New York State that doesn't have a chapter? How hard is it to start a chapter?
I don't think it's really all that difficult. The word that I've gotten from myself, and then another chapter that we helped Southern Adirondack just recently chartered, it's a bit of a commitment of time. The organization just seems to attract competent people and people who are
Yeah.
really committed to this type of work. Our newsletter person, she's just amazing, and she just takes care of it. I mean, we have guidelines, things we have to get
Sure.
submitted to her in time.
So you have plant sales and you have seed swaps, which is great for people in the home garden. But are there kind of parks you've adopted or anything like that you kind of have a pet project in your area in the capital
We
region?
do. We actually started a demonstration garden, and we installed it last year. We had a grant from the national organization, and that is part of what your money, when you pay your $40
Oh,
dues,
okay.
it goes to the national organization, and then they have started some different projects.
And where is the demonstration garden?
It's in Guilderland, New York, at Unity Lutheran. It's a church across from Stuyvesant Plaza.
You're interested in joining, or if you're interested in natives, I assume you can visit that garden.
You can. It's not much yet. We just put it in last August. It's going to be done in phases.
Okay.
And the design itself will be posted on the national website, which is free for anybody to take and download or do whatever they want with. They have them from
So
all
we
over.
can copy it in the backyard here if we want.
You
to.
could.
Okay.
You could
and
if you wanted
speaking
to.
of designs, Wild Ones, I think I remember they have all kinds of regional designs. They'll have like professional designers
Yes.
will design.
Yes.
And how would I access that if I said, oh, I live in Savannah, Georgia, and is there a particular design that I could use in my home garden?
You would go to the national organization, and then you would look on their website, and you would find your area. Until we started this one in the Albany area, the closest one was in Boston.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a great thing, though, because if you want to do natives, I would say, okay, I want to put a native garden here, and then I'd go, well, where the heck do I start, and what do I
Right.
choose,
And
how do I?
combinations and
Yeah, and
things
what
like that.
combinations work. That's brilliant.
That's big.
Awesome.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So we have a speakers bureau also that you
Okay.
could go out and talk to your organization and help you
Okay.
get started with something like that on a
Six
smaller scale.
Garden clubs and master gardeners and such.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh.
And we have in the winter months, we have a woman who organized something she calls a cozy chat. We cover every county that touches Albany County.
Okay.
So she goes around to all of the different counties and sits, and people just come in and sit and chat and have coffee and talk about
Where? She
native
goes and
plants.
sits in a supermarket or something?
Well, no, usually coffee shops.
It's cozy, Gene.
It's a cozy
This is
chat.
well, I love the produce department.
Okay.
Not everyone's like you. I wouldn't call the produce department cozy.
And then now we're done with the cozy chats, and we've moved into our meet and hike season. So we have
Okay.
a person coordinating meet and hikes. So it's just a very casual meetup.
Okay. Whoever leads it knows what they're looking at, and they can tell you. And answer
Theoretically.
questions.
Theoretically, yeah.
So, but they're probably like land conservancy sites and things like that you can go to, and somebody goes ahead of time and kind of looks at the plants. That would be a pretty easy thing to do, right?
Yeah, it's fun. It's
They
fun.
do it across the street here all the time. The Ciosla Forest.
Oh,
They
okay.
do forest walks and
Yeah,
all kinds
yeah.
of nature walks and foraging and things like
nice.
that.
Yes.
So that's right in the same vein.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, have you seen a growing interest in native plants over like the last few years since you started the organization,
Yes.
the chapter?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the page that we put on our website that specifically says, here are some local nurseries. That's our most visited page.
Really?
Ah, shocking.
I know a lot of people are really interested in natives and they kind of don't know where to get them. We were talking about this before we recorded, right?
Right. They don't know where to get them. And also, a lot of people don't know where to start. It's a little overwhelming
Right,
to
right.
Yeah.
really think it through. So we suggest, first just get to know your site. Is it sun? Is it shade? Is it wet? Is it dry? And then do a little bit of work. What colors do you like? Do you like tall things or short things?
Yeah.
Do you want a cottage garden? Do you want something wild and crazy? And you have to kind of do a little bit of your own personal thinking because every garden is so unique and so different.
And with natives, I think people are kind of geared and have been forever that, like, well, it's wild stuff, so it's weeds. Even if it's beautiful, you want a store-bought something or other in your yard.
Or if it's growing out in a field, why would I grow it in my garden, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's growing out in a field for a reason, right?
Yeah, so you can dig it up and bring it to your garden.
That's not what
No,
you're
that's
saying.
not recommended.
No, Gene. No.
No, we're hoping to help to change that perception a little bit, just by encouraging you, if you like. Well, maybe you just take one native and put it in your garden.
Well, it's
or-
become trendy, and so I think it's working its
In
way
a good
into
way.
the vernacular. Well, yeah, because
And you include, when you say garden, you're talking about not just perennial gardens, but kind of shrub gardens and trees and things like that as well, right?
landscapes, or
Yeah.
or even maybe just a pot on your balcony, wherever your interest is.
Yeah.
In native gardening,
is a
everybody's
whole
just so
lot.
different. It's just such a spectrum of people.
Are you getting questions about native plant designers or things like that somebody doesn't maybe want to do all that work, but they want to have someone come in and kind of look at their landscape and think about it?
Yeah, we have a small listing of designers on our website on that same page that we have with the plant listing. So if anybody would like to reach out to Wild Ones and to our website, if you'd like to be listed,
okay,
there's no,
Excellent.
you just need to really have a nice focus on the natives.
Right.
we've interviewed a couple people.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoop
Getting into it,
Gardens?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is the woman who designed our demonstration garden,
Well,
Cape
dang,
Brittingham.
it's a small world.
It is a small
Excellent,
world,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, what else haven't we asked?
Is there
about?
are there other things you want to cover?
Well, just our mission that we promote native landscapes through education, advocacy, and collaborative action. So Wild Ones really stands on three pillars. We work really hard to incorporate all three of those.
And I assume there's a fee if you want to join, yes?
It's $40 a year.
Okay. Which seems pretty reasonable to me. And for
Especially
that,
with that
you get a
backup.
newsletter, you get community, and you get a lot of folks, I guess, who would help you in terms of like making a native garden, correct?
We haven't quite got that worked out yet. We only have one member-only event a year, or set of events, and those are our private garden tours that we have.
Oh, nice.
So you would need to be a member. If you have a friend who's a non-member, you would be able to register and bring that person with you. But because we're giving out private addresses, we don't just open those to the public.
Right.
Now, you do the Capital District Flower Show.
Capital
Capital-
District Flower Expo, yeah.
Expo now. They
Yeah.
change it once in a while.
We had a table there.
Yeah, and you've done it for how long? You've done it for a couple of years anyway, maybe more.
We started out 3 years ago with Home Earth Alliance.
Okay.
Which Kate might have talked a little bit about when she interviewed with Front Stoop Gardens. She's a
Okay.
co-founder of that organization
Yeah.
also. And we went in and worked collaboratively with them. And then we did a cooperative table with Audubon last year in 2024. And then 2025, we had our own table upstairs for just visitors, just set up for
You're going
people
to do a
come and
display
visit.
garden one year?
I don't know.
That could be cool.
Show is
It's daunting.
It's hard.
it's a
right?
lot of
Yeah.
work. We have so many wonderful volunteers, but the group that we're still challenged with forming is a planning group. So our planning groups are still quite small.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to join us, they're welcome to,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But then the day of the event, we're very strong with volunteers. We
Oh,
have to
that's
have
good.
more than, we have to work hard sometimes to find jobs for everybody.
And I assume it's a nice social environment,
Oh,
right?
it's so wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody's got kind of a mutual, interest.
Now, you're doing native plants. How purist are you?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about nativars before we recorded. Yeah, how purist are you?
Well, we're trying not to be purists. So what we've done on our website, where we set up, you want to start shopping for natives. Well, here's some information for you. This is a cultivar. This is a nativar.
Right.
This is a straight species, and this is what it is. You need to choose as a consumer what you want your garden to look like.
But of course, they have to be educated, and that's your
Then they
role.
make their
Yeah.
choices.
Well, now also, I know in some of these things we were talking about things like coreopsis or cone flowers. If you wanted this particular cone flower, the purists say, well, no, it's not native to New York. It's native to Ohio, so you shouldn't be growing that. I mean, there are those kind of purists, like it only grows up as far north as Pennsylvania, so you shouldn't grow it and it doesn't count.
Oh, sure.
Do you
Lots
get
of our
some
members.
of that?
Oh, yeah. Lots of our members feel that strongly
Yeah.
about it, and then lots of our members don't.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's a conversation. Yeah.
It's a conversation, but we
Yeah.
try to open that conversation.
I think it's a really good conversation because, I mean, I've always thought that, like, if something is beneficial to pollinators, I don't really care if it's native only to Pennsylvania. That's for me, anyway.
Well,
I'll
this
get
year,
the-
for the first time on our native plant sale, we do have a few things that looked really good, and they're not native to New York State, but they have been naturalized in this state.
Yeah,
But they're
yeah.
clearly labeled. They're clearly labeled. So
Right.
you're going to need to make your own choices. Like echinacea is a great example. It's not native to the
Right.
state.
Nope.
It's not naturalized in this state,
Nope.
but it's well behaved, and it's a magnificent pollinator plant.
Exactly.
And a great source of seeds for the birds in the winter.
Right.
And they're kind of short-lived, so it doesn't become a really long-term deal.
Yeah.
But it's a great example, I think, because, I've had people say to me, oh, if I've given a talk and they've said, oh, that's not really a native, but it's a great pollinator plant. It really is a very beneficial plant, and it's a tough and hardy plant, too, I think.
Right.
I have a note here about the Tenbrook Mansion. Did you just do an event there or something?
There's one coming up in May. It's
Okay.
a tabling event. So
Oh, okay.
It's a family garden day
Okay.
that they do every spring, and they've invited us to set up a table and share information about native plants.
Oh, cool. A little bit of history there. I worked there as
Oh.
an intern in 1980 to
Oh, wow.
restore the gardens.
Oh, wow.
And that was well before any of
Did you,
what's
like, drive
there.
an Edsel in
I
1980?
did. I toddled in my. The barn was still there. They had an ancient Dutch barn that went back to the Tenbrooks, and it was just crazy. But it's totally different now, and it's like a regular park, and they let regular
Thank
people
goodness
in.
we edit these episodes. But go ahead, Jean.
But that's
Tell
why
us
I was
more.
interested in the Tenbrook, because it's a gorgeous site and it's almost a secret. The Albany Historical Society owns it. It's a Dutch mansion. It's got history like crazy, and the grounds are beautiful. So I'm really excited to see that there's
Are there
more
other
going
native
on there.
gardens you would recommend in this area for people to visit? I mean, I know that Beatrice Farrand Garden has some beautiful natives.
She has a
south of
native
us,
site,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with what public gardens are here in Columbia County.
How about in your area?
Well, in our area, we have Sobro Conservancy, which they are out of Saratoga, and they have they bought vacant land. Their mission is to purchase vacant parcels and then turn them into native gardens.
nice.
And they have a magnificent garden in
And where are they?
Saratoga.
In
That's in
Saratoga?
Saratoga.
I think more and more kind of public institutions, I'm thinking of like Bard College south of us, has beautiful native plantings, and they just were really interested in planting natives. It's not necessarily like a public garden, but their whole campus is planted with natives. We usually ask our guests this question, and I think you probably are a great person to answer this. When you see kind of the world being crazy and all these invasive plants and people having only lawns that don't really attract pollinators, what gives you hope and joy?
Wild ones.
Yeah, there
Wild
you
ones
go.
gives me so much hope and joy because we can actively engage in acts of hopefulness. You know, we can be doing something to kind of help a situation.
Well, and I mean, I think it's like the fact that you're educating folks and you're engaging folks, you must be seeing every day kind of people kind of transforming in terms of their understanding and their interest in planting things.
It's
like
really
that.
fun. It's really fun.
That's terrific.
And we just
Fun, and you're making a difference.
we're making
Yeah.
a difference. So yay, go.
And who can say
Wild
they're
ones.
making a difference? Excellent.
Somebody's out there doing something and able to brag about it. That's awesome.
We really appreciate your coming in and talking to us about wild ones, and we encourage our folks who are listening to go on your website and take a look, and maybe they're interested in joining you.
Thank you
Thanks
again.
for coming, and thanks
It
for
was a
all our
treat.
listeners.
Thank you.